Students today are participating in the cybersecurity competition called Cyber Patriot.
Well, it might have to get removed.
And we might remove it.
It involves two images, two virtual machines. One's Windows, one is in Ubuntu, which is Linux. Students are trying to defend the images. They're basically going through and finding errors that the users have made in order to fix the problem and harden their system, meaning make it safer so that they're less likely to get hacked, less likely to have things stolen.
Points!
Oh no, doing this in high school is like absolutely great. As a district, and we're so lucky, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to actually do this because I get to learn so many skills, so many things I wouldn't be able to know that I probably wouldn't know unless I paid to go to college somewhere. And so I feel like just having the ability to do something essentially for free because the district pays for all this is something great. You learn so much valuable information that you would not learn anywhere else from doing anything else like this.
Make sure that you look at the README. They emphasize that. Huge.
The cool part about this is a national competition. There are about 5,000 teams across the country competing over a 5-day period. The energy level, the excitement over doing the competition is awesome because they have a 4-hour window. They have to complete it in that time period. They got to work together. They got to work as a team. A lot of soft skills are being developed as students work through these things.
I think it's really cool because it gives us a chance to better our future, because this on whatever we do is really a boost because we show our skills and academic learning through this, depending on how our score does. And even if not, we get a good score, we still participate in that and try to grow.
Students are learning real-world skills here. These are things that they can use at home. These are skills that will lead them into potential cybersecurity competitions or cybersecurity world if this is a potential career that they want to pursue. And it's something to put on their resumes. It's a example of soft skills that business people are constantly looking for.
I definitely want to do this for a career. I think it's really fun just trying to figure out, it's like a puzzle. You're trying to find the right pieces and then put them in the right places because there's so many different things that could go wrong or go right.
This isn't a lesson that is above and beyond what I could do in the classroom. So participating in this activity is definitely something that gets the kids to realize, is this something they really want to do or not? Without actually pursuing that degree and seeing the challenges. It also is teaching problem-solving skills. A lot of our kids just give up too easily when they are faced with a problem. This allows them to realize that they can solve problems as they come up to them.
So today was our 10th anniversary Veterans Day celebration. Kids were great, standing ovation as they were coming in. It's just something that we should do to respond to and recognize those who have served this country. Today was a great day. I mean, the veterans they're up and they're ready. We tell them to come at 8:30 and they're here at 7:58 a.m. Smiling and ready. This is a big day for them. Somebody did a quote and talked about how they had never been recognized until they came here to this event 10 years ago, especially the Vietnam veterans. And I think it's really important for us to see that.
First of all, I want to thank the veterans in front of me. And I am so honored to be here.
I was surprised when I came here today. It was, I didn't know what I was in for. Starting out with just meeting fellow veterans and talking with them, and it's all about the stories, right? Because every veteran has a story, good, bad, or indifferent, and so it was great. And then walking into the assembly was just, invigorating, right? It was just, I want to come back. I'll come back as a civilian. It was great.
So the opportunity for the kids is, just with General Baker, when are you ever going to be around a general, first of all? And I think it's a great opportunity for them to see both leadership and service. He made a great speech today about serving, giving more of yourself. And I think the kids will see that there are people out there that are willing to serve, and I think it inspires them to do a little bit more. And it doesn't mean you have to serve in the military. I thought he did a great job of saying if you're a nurse or a doctor or an attorney or custodial engineer, whatever it is that you do, you want to give a little bit more of yourself.
They brought some of the nationwide recruiting assets, so the semi-trucks where they can do simulations in there, the gaming and things like that, and they only get it in the areas a certain amount of time, so I know it'll go here in the Arlington Heights. So that's good. We have a joint light tactical vehicle, which is over $1 million. So that's a couple houses sitting out there. So there's a lot of things that are going on with technology, and I think that's a good fit for the younger generation as we go forward.
I'd like to just thank everybody that comes together. I mean, there is a giant script and everybody plays their part. There's the tech, there's the setup, there's the phone calls, there's the invitations, there's the programs, and 25 people that are involved in that and everything that happens. And it's really a great team effort of setting up priorities and everyone doing their part. And when everyone does their part, it comes together flawlessly, which I thought today was.
Veterans Day Assembly at John Hersey High School, incredibly powerful, emotional. You know, we have our entire sophomore class that's joining the veterans here. Before the event actually started, we had a meet and greet, and then it morphed into a Black Hawk helicopter landing on our baseball field. You know, it doesn't get much better than that. It kind of felt like it was hovering there for a moment for that perfect picture opportunity. So just an incredible feeling and just the power behind it. And then having an opportunity to meet the men who were in charge of that landing, and wow, special thanks to them. And you know, we had a lot of students who were able to see that landing take place, and now as it's landed, we have opportunities for them to tour that and hear a little bit more of the stories behind it. And I think that's a special opportunity for kids, obviously, to not only see it arrive, but then go out there and feel it and touch it and talk to the men who brought it here to us.
Well, the helicopter I flew was called the Huey, H1H. It only had one turbine. It did not have all the electronics that you had in here. The helicopter I flew was basic. It was pretty basic. Amazing aircraft. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going back and get trained. This would be a thrill to fly, I'll tell you that.
And actually one of the members of that helicopter is a 2019 Hersey grad, Kyle Smith. You know, what a special moment for him to be back on his alma mater, and the way he arrived was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to come here and celebrate, I don't remember doing this like when I was in high school, but you know, to be able to do this is pretty cool, and you know, I'm glad the students get to experience something like this and you know, be able to celebrate the holiday. So that's pretty cool.
Every day is a great day. I have my faith, my family, live in the finest country in the world. That's my daily standard mantra.
We had Major General James Mukayama speak with our class. We had Major General Matthew Baker speak with our classes, and you know, just messages of inspiration and service. And then we also recognize some of our local heroes, our local service members.
Jake is our first responder, Chattanooga, Tennessee. He drove here all night to be here because we're celebrating veterans, but also he's a board member for Soldier's Journey Home. He's been a part of 10, this will be 10 this year, 10 home builds for disabled veterans. These are really special people in terms of service. They give hours and hours. Their vacation time is spent working 13-hour days to build homes for handicap accessible homes for veterans.
Veterans Day and the movement that we're trying to get going today, it doesn't end here, it doesn't end now. This is really just the beginning. You know, we're going to take this momentum, we're going to take this flame that we were talking about, carry it on to the Ginger Build, and then more importantly, it's going to move on to April as we build the house for Sergeant Ryan Majors in Louisiana for a Soldier's Journey Home, and John Hersey High School is going to be a big part of that at the Ginger Build, and then leading up to the build as far as fundraising and getting involved with all the various components that go into that house build.
Our director of bands is Spencer Heil. Nothing short of spectacular. I mean, it was unbelievable. In fact, I don't know if you could do an assembly moving forward without the band. They were amazing. The comments that our groups made and his connections with the songs and helping students actually understand the meanings behind the songs, I think made a tremendous difference. Spencer just does a spectacular job, and our band is incredible. You know, I think at the end of the day, our kids are learning from people who have given the most incredible sacrifice back to our country and our nation. And we couldn't be more grateful for their time and their service here with us, and for our kids to learn from that unique opportunity.
This was provided to me by the daycare here at Hersey. The little kids put this together. Look at all their little handprints. I'm going to go to see them and thank them for this. Thank you so much, Hershey, for everything you did. Jim Mix, great. Keith McFall, it was just super. Thank you. Thank you.
Today, the 5 programs of JAG Illinois attended the Leadership Development Conference here at District 214. These kids came here already knowing that they had leadership abilities inside of them, but today they got to learn about how to really lead. JAG stands for Jobs for America's. It's really about that.
Walker?
Yes.
Fiorito?
Yes.
Dustling?
Yes.
Heineman?
Aye.
Palmer?
Aye.
And Kreutzer?
Aye, thank you. Item 4 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the open and closed meeting of November 2nd, 2023. A motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
So motion and a second. Discussion? Please call a roll.
Palmer?
Aye.
Heineman?
Aye.
Dustling?
Yes.
Fiorito?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
And Kreutzer?
Aye, thank you.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is recognition by the Board of Education. 5.1, student recognition. So we're going to recognize about 30 students tonight, and after the recognition, we're going to take photos over here, but after the recognition, I'm going to say a few words, and then if the parents want to, after that, go to the display over there and get a picture with your student, that would be great, because we're going to take a little bit of a break after we do the student recognition. Mr. Mogi, please.
Thank you very much. Will Dr. Rowe, Board President Kreutzer, and Board Vice President Palmer please join me for student recognition? Students, as I call your name or group, please come up along with the principal and coach or advisor. After you've received your certificate, please remain for some photos over here on the side. So first up, will Prospect High School's Cole Balecki, Jack Kruger, Luke Kruger, Matthew Munt, Ryan Murray, Coulter Person, and Patrick Rupp please come up?
I'm bringing it up.
Prospect boys golf team had a historic season. The team won the MSL East and the Illinois High School Association Regional, shooting the lowest score in the state, a 286. For the first time since 1976, the Knights won the IHSA Sectional Golf Tournament. To cap off the season, the boys golf team finished in 3rd place at the IHSA State Finals in Bloomington. This is the 2nd state trophy for boys golf in the history of Prospect High School. Prospect senior Luke Kruger is the 7th All-State boys golfer in the history of Prospect High School. Luke tied for 6th place at the state finals and led the team to their 3rd place finish. Luke has earned a college scholarship to play golf for Butler University on the men's golf team. Senior Patrick Rupp owns 2 golf scoring records at Prospect High School, including the incredible 29 he shot on the back 9 at Mount Prospect Golf Club during the MSL Conference Championship this season. Patrick finished all-state for the 2nd year in a row. He has earned a scholarship to play golf at Northern Illinois University. Will Buffalo Grove High School's Courtney Beerhide please come up? Sophomore Courtney Beerhide put an exclamation point to a historic 2023 fall golf season by finishing in 4th place at the IHSA Girls Golf State Tournament in Forsyth this October. During the course of the season, Courtney was the Mid-Suburban League MSL Conference medalist, shooting a 5 under 67 at Matt Gray Golf Club. During IHSA postseason play, Courtney was a regional medalist, shooting 69, and the sectional runner-up, shooting 68. For the season, Courtney averaged an astounding 68.75 for 18 holes. Congratulations, Courtney and Coach Jeff Greibisch. Will Buffalo Grove High School's Anthony Polano and John Hersey High School's Carson Grove please come up? Looks like they couldn't make it this evening. They were both recognized by the Illinois High School Football Coaches Association as all-state team players in football. So congratulations to them and their coaches. Will Buffalo Grove High School's Dennis Likovid please come up? Looks like Dennis is not able to make it as well. He was selected as part of the all-state soccer team by opposing coaches who recognize his consistent and excellent play throughout the season. Will John Hersey's High School, Margarita Grabsky, please come up? All right. Junior Margarita Grabsky finished 17th in the IHSA 3A cross-country meet this season. She had an incredible year and was an MSL all-conference medalist and an all-sectional as well. With her success this season, she is now Hersey's 3rd fastest 3-miler in school history with a time of 17:24. Congratulations, Margarita and Coach Michaela Olson. Will Ella Houston and Vera Connick please come up? Buffalo Grove's Ella Houston capped off an incredible sophomore season by finishing in 3rd place at the IHSA State Finals for girls swimming in November. Ella was also a member of a 400-yard freestyle relay team that took 12th at the state meet. During the course of the season, Ella broke the school record in the 200 free and the 500 free, which took place on day 2 of the state meet. Rolling Meadows sophomore Vera Connick had another incredibly successful season, breaking 4 individual and 2 relay school records. A few weeks before sectionals, she had a serious knee injury that would have benched most athletes. Vera persevered and route to her 2nd place finish in the 100-yard backstroke at the IHSA State Championship. Additionally, Vera medaled 9th in the 100-yard butterfly. Congratulations to Vera, Ella, and their coaches Michael Partland and Monica Chiappetta. Will Prospect High School's Molly Kearns and Anna Legowski please come up? At this year's Journalism Education Association National Scholastic Press Association National Journalism Convention in November in Boston, Editor-in-Chief Prospect Senior Molly Kearns was one of 2 students in the country to win a Superior Award in Yearbook Copy Caption Clubs Writing. Not only is she one of the top 2 writers in the country, but Molly has won this prestigious award for a 2nd year in a row. Molly is the first student in Knight Media's history to achieve back-to-back superior recognition. Additionally, editor Anna Legowski, as a junior at Prospect, was one of 2 students in the country to win a Superior Award in Yearbook Sports Feature Photography, and was really gone above and beyond this year to improve her photography skills. If she isn't in the pool competing, she's on the pool deck capturing an extremely difficult sport to photograph, swimming. Congratulations. Finally, will Prospect High School's Charlotte Shingari, Cindy Lupo, Molly Kearns, Brooke Michaelchik, PJ O'Grady, Sarah Staveness, please come up. In November, our Knight Media programs traveled to Boston to attend the JEA NSPA National High School Journalism Convention. Over 5,000 students were in attendance, and schools from across the country entered their publications in the Best of Show contest, where the top 10 publications are awarded for their overall excellence. For the first time in school history, all 3 publications were awarded the national award at the same convention. Our Crest yearbook, Prospect Senior Charlotte Shingari, Molly Kearns, Cindy Lupo, and Sarah Staveness, took 8th place in Best of Show. The Prospector newspaper, seniors Molly Kearns and PJ O'Grady, took 9th place in Best of Show, and the website, prospectornow.com, senior Brooke Michaelchik and sophomore Tess Trilanovich, who could not be here tonight, took 10th place in Best of Show. Congratulations to those Prospect students and their advisors.
This is always a fun event for the Board of Education. We get to recognize students and all their achievements and really appreciate all the hard work that the students went through. But we have a tradition at District 214 where we also recognize the people behind these very successful students. So, Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, siblings, if you could please stand so we could also recognize you. Okay, thanks. So we're going to break for a few minutes, and if you'd love to stay for our Board of Education meeting, we'd love to have you. But we're going to break for a few minutes, so if you'd want to take pictures over here, be my guest. Thank you, and happy holidays to you all. Is point 6, public hearing, tax levy. I would like to call to order the public hearing for the tax levy at 7:20 p.m. Mr. Keeley.
Very much.
You're on.
Thank you very much. Yes.
There's
so
no
there's
off.
a brief presentation. It's an abridged version of must-see TV from last month. We'll wait for that to pop up here. But as the board president mentioned, we are at the final stage of our 2023 tax levy process, and tonight we start the meeting with a truth in taxation hearing. So this public hearing, while will be brief, and at the end I will entertain questions from board members. There we are. No? Okay. So again, the purpose of the tax levy, as we all know, it is the primary source of revenue for the school district. It makes up, here in District 214, it makes up 91% of our total revenue that we take in year over year, with the remaining revenue coming equally almost from state and federal. And as you see on the infographic there, the levy is split between 2 different fiscal years, so we'll receive approximately 55% of the levy that the board will be reviewing tonight at the tail end of this fiscal year, so that'll be in the spring coming up, with the remainder coming next fall. As we discussed last month, the different components that do go into establishing the equalized assessed value that the tax rate is computed against are such things as the equalizer, certain tax exemptions, some new ones that we're going to share tonight, the assessed property value, and then any tax increment financing, or TIFs. And as we know, we have, well, at the time of the last levy meeting, we had 20, now we have 19, with one rolling off in Elk Grove. And those are a source of economic development for our communities. So I was asked to include this. We were at a recent EdRed meeting. That's essentially our educational lobbying group. And these are some, this is kind of a breakdown of the different incentives available in terms of tax breaks for commercial industrial tenants. I'm not going to go through each, but just as illustration, it just shows the way that the tax process works here in Cook County. In addition, obviously, we get the property tax appeals, either through commercial or residential as well. So before you and in your packet, board members, you have all of the certificates, et cetera, for the final tax levy. What we have up here on the screen shows the request, and the county will review that, and then once the final figures are in, they will compute it. As you can see, we're asking for the maximum, which is the 5%, and then you see how it's broken down by the various funds. Certain funds, like the municipal retirement fund, that is going to be $1. It's essentially a placeholder. We have fund balance there to get us through the next year, and over the years, the district has been paying down the IMRF rate. So our rate in the IMRF fund is significantly low in terms of what we're paying through payroll. And let's see, you have a significant increase in transportation. As we all know, transportation costs have gone up. The district did recently go out to bid, but in addition, our needs and our student needs have gone up. So that is just a reflection of a correction. It's 41% increase, but that's to maintain the fund balance within that particular fund. And then you see our debt service, that is a 100% increase because, as we all know, the district abated those funds back to the taxpayers last year, and we are going to be levying for those funds this year. So overall, it would show as a 6.4% increase. And again, that increase over the 5% is going on the debt service from 0 back to the principal and interest that's due on our bonds this levy year. And per school code, we are, again, showing the exact same numbers we did last time. These are unaudited. The auditors are still fast at work. Unaudited June 30th fund balance figures for each of our funds. So the next steps, tonight, during the action part of the meeting, we'll be recommending the approval of the final tax levy. We also have the approval of the supplemental levy. And then the submission deadline is December 26th. So once we have signed documents, we will ensure that we file them with the county, and then we will track that throughout the year and provide updates to the board as needed. And at this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions board members might have.
Board members? Okay, and there was a sign-up sheet for the community to speak on the levy, and no one signed up. At this point, I'm going to close the public hearing at 7:26 p.m. Thank you. We're at 7.7, public comments. No one has signed up for public comments. Thank you. Superintendent's report. Dr. Rowe.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kreutzer. I'd like to begin by just commemorating and memorializing an opportunity that I had recently to travel to Washington, D.C. with Mr. Mentor and Ms. Kendrick from Prospect High School, and want to recognize and congratulate Prospect High School again on the recognition as a National Blue Ribbon School. Mr. Mentor and team, this work takes a lot of work over many, many years, and they've built a tremendous learning community at Prospect High School and have a lot to be proud of. I know I cherish the opportunity to travel with them to Washington, D.C., hear from the Secretary of Education as well as the Assistant Secretary of Education and the heads of all of our national principal and superintendent organizations. And so as you can see, the photo of us receiving the award that they earned, just on behalf of the district, offer a hearty congratulations and appreciate all the work that goes into it from everyone at Prospect High School. All right, an update on something we've been working on in district is an interactive organizational chart by request from our school board. So we create a deeper understanding of how the district functions and then the layers of the district. As you know, we're quite a large organization with many moving parts. And over the first 6 months of my tenure here, I've gotten to know a lot of people, a lot of tremendous people fill these cells. But I wanted to update you that we have that on the website, and it is interactive. And the idea and the goal behind this is not just to show all the layers, that is one, but also to help people find the right person to connect with, so they can drill down into each building and drill down into each department. So I appreciate Mr. Maggi and Mr. Siski and his team for all the work that they did building that online tool for our community to engage with. And then finally, later this evening on our agenda marks the beginning for us and the beginning of our energy conservation journey. I know Mr. Keeley is going to speak a little bit more to this. And the district's taken some steps over the years down this path, purchased enhanced HVAC systems as well as lighting systems. But tonight marks an important point in that journey. There's a small contract that you'll be asked to approve later this evening, and it's typically not a contract that would come to the board because by board standards, it's a $10,000 contract. It's not of major substance. But that said, it's an important point, so we wanted to bring it here for visibility because it marks a beginning of a journey for us. By bringing Dave Burr on as a consultant to help us navigate energy consulting needs and lay a path toward a more operationally efficient district, I just wanted to let you know, I know I've said it before, but I'm going to officially set a goal for us as a district to achieve green ribbon status at some point in our future. I believe it'll take the better part of a decade, if not a little bit more, but I believe it's something that we can do. And the Green Ribbon Award is a recognition by the state of Illinois and ultimately the U.S. Department of Education for being one of the most energy conservant districts in the country. Mr. Fiorito comes from one of the recent awardees in Illinois, and River Trails, one of our feeder districts. But a lot of work goes into that, but it starts with this moment. So I'm very excited about this. Again, it won't happen overnight, but what this energy consultant will provide us will not only help us with our bidding process and the proposal process for energy conservation partners, but also give us opportunities that we may not be thinking of because he's literally an expert in the field. And guide us down this journey. So hopefully that will be approved this evening, but I believe there are brighter, pun intended, days ahead, and the idea being an operationally efficient district can divert our funds away from spending on electricity and put them where they belong, which is in the classroom. So look forward to that work and appreciate everything that Mr. Keeley and Mr. Yulee and team have put into this preparation for this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rowe. Point 9 is board member updates. So any board members have an update? No. Mr. Dustling, please.
Wednesday's Daily Herald, there was an article about a young lady from Rolling Meadows who is in an apprentice program at Arlington Heights Walgreen. And it so impressed me, I went down there to visit her and to talk with the manager. And he was delighted and has been delighted. He's had 3 or 4 apprentice is there. The young lady's delighted because she wants to be a pharmacist. And she's working, I think it's 3 days a week, 5 hours a time, and she's really, really enjoying it. So it's such a great program. And he was so complimentary to the district and was delighted to have the young lady there. I attended the National Junior ROTC annual military inspection about a week and a half ago. It was different this year. There were competitive activities going on as well as the pass and review, but they do a marvelous job up there. I've also attended numerous wonderful holiday concerts and assemblies, great student music, great fine arts, all on display. And last weekend, the Prospect had the Madrigal, which I went to. So this is a busy, busy time of the year. And certainly, there's many, many great events going on, so please participate. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fiorito.
Yeah, I have quite a few, too. I've been fortunate enough to attend several of the athletic booster meetings over the past month, since it seems so long since our last board meeting. It's great to see all the parent involvement and all the good things that we can do to help our student athletes at the different high schools. I attended a conference class at the state school board conference on superintendent evaluation. There was some stuff there that I think will be of value that I will share with the board at probably a future time. Press Plus had their new release, and there's 5 items that I found were pertaining to board members. Trauma and informed practice, it's going to require some board training online. There's a closed session now can be used for denial of admission to school events. So if a student is being poorly behaved at sporting events and we want to not allow him or maybe his parents to come to an event, we don't have to do that in open session. It can be closed session. School board meeting procedure change to off-site attendance. I thought that was very interesting. As Dr. Rowe just pointed out, the increased bidding threshold is now going to be $35,000, but the board must amend the policy, so that would be us. And then last but not least, waiving of tuition for children of district employees requires board action. It no longer is a state waiver, but it has to be done each year. So those are the different items, and last but not least, I promised last meeting I would plug it again. The Wheeling Hardwood Classic is December 27th through the 30th at Wheeling High School. It's one of the best basketball tournaments in the area, and 3 of our schools, Buffalo Grove Prospect and Wheeling, the host school, will be participating. So if you're in the neighborhood, please stop by. I'll be working the concession stand, but sorry, no freebies. That's it.
I'll be really quick. Thank you. I attended the President's Council along with Board Presidents Kreitzer and Superintendent Rowe. It was great to hear of our PTO presidents, of how things are going in the schools, and how they are supporting our students by providing additional services, things like prom-type events, other services. So if parents are out there listening who are not members of our PTOs, I would urge them to join and find ways to get involved. Your kids do a lot better when you're involved. We had a lot of great kids here tonight, and you know that for every ounce of effort those kids put in, there's an ounce of effort behind the scenes by parents, teachers, coaches, etc. They cannot do it without support. We have community education. Registration is going on now. If there are classes you're interested in, want to learn how to play pickleball, I think is an option. All sorts of fun things out there and useful things as well. So not that fun isn't useful. And last but not least, I hope that everyone has a happy and safe winter break.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Sure. So a couple things. Buffalo Grove School hosted for the first time ever a free sensory-friendly performance of Charlotte's Web. So thank you, Mr. Wardle and your team. It was very well received by the NSSEO community, and it meant a lot to a lot of people. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Hyman. Let's see, got a couple updates from NSSEO quickly. Shout out to Maximus Dominguez. He's a Wheeling student that has participated in the STEP program since 2019. The STEP program is a partnership between Illinois Division of Rehabilitation Services, NSSCO, and High School District 211, High School District 214. The program focuses on providing students with a pre-employment skills training and work training experience to help them develop competitive work skills and plan for post-high school. Maximus was recognized last week at NSSCO, last week, and Maximus has provided multiple pre-vocational and work training experiences and has grown immensely during his time in the program. Maximus' motivation to learn and grow, along with the improvement of his self-advocacy and vocational skills, have led to great success. His employment at Lou Malnati's. He's been at the job for 2 years and had 2 increases in pay because he's such a hard worker. So thanks to everybody that helped Dominguez and so many other kids through NSSCO and the partnership. The other thing that we will report on later is there's a finance committee meeting from NSSCO today. There's a lot of building requirements needed. So we have to dig deep into it. Mr. Keeley will take care of that in the future, but there's a lot going on with that, and I know Mr. Keeley and his team will take good note on it. There's a lot to unwind, and we need to do a better job with, they need to do a better job, and we as NSSCO need to do a better job with understanding what it is and providing a better outlook for what the expense is. So, Mr. Keeley, thank you for attending today, and we'll keep everybody posted. And that completes my updates. Mark?
Mr. Heineman, are you wearing a Snoopy tie?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
I attended the Illinois School Board Association conference downtown, which was very educational and time well spent. And just yesterday, I took a tour of Holmes Junior High School that mostly, 59. And I think they mostly feed Hersey High School, and it was mostly special ed related. So again, very worthwhile time. End of my report.
Thank you. Okay, 'tis a season for joint review board meetings. This fiscal year, I've attended Des Plaines, Mount Prospect, Buffalo Grove, and lastly, Elk Grove Village. As stated at our last meeting, Elk Grove Village is retiring a 1-year-old TIF. Also, at the meeting, Elk Grove is becoming the data center destination. There are currently 15 data centers with 21 to be built. The new tech park located on the former Bussey Farm is at 100% capacity. To note, I gave an incorrect number last time. There are 5,600 businesses in the industrial park with less than 1% vacancy, which is absolutely unheard of. You may recall we have an agreement with Mount Prospect on student impact fees for the downtown development. We've received $64,000. The Prospect and Main TIF has a $193,000 surplus, which will be due to us mid-2024. Hats off to the Elk Grove Nation Veterans Day Decades of Honor ceremony. Although no helicopter arrived, Hersey got that. It was a very enjoyable morning. But to note, the VFW Post awarded 3 scholarships this year, all to girls. A big thank you to the ProStart students for a scrumptious breakfast. All enjoyed the National Technical Honor Society induction ceremony held at Rolling Meadows. The mission is to honor student achievement and leadership in career and technical education. Congratulations to the 120 students inducted. Attended the luncheon for the Barcelona exchange students. This year was a switch from breakfast to lunch so the students could enjoy traditional American cuisine. I attended the Illinois School Board Association second quarter Board of Directors meeting on Thursday, November 16th, and we continued Sunday morning, November 19th, with a reorg meeting. I am now an alternate to the executive committee, which meets 4 times a year, plus the 4 times a year the Board of Directors meets. On Saturday, November 18th, I represented District 214 at the Delegate Assembly, which had 417 delegates. We voted a new president, Mark Harms from Flanagan Cornell United District 74, and from Triopia Community Unit School District 27, Tracy Zaire as vice president. Simon Campworth will now move to immediate past president. I'm happy to report that the association is in great financial shape. As far as the 5 resolutions submitted to the delegates, industrial construction, employment history review, and alternative safe school funding were not heard as there was a do not adopt designation. Funding for school resource officer and regulations for a bus driver regulations both passed. And congratulations to the 282 District 214 students who submitted artwork in this year's Harper College Area High School Art Show. During the 40th annual recognition ceremony, 3 high awards were given. We are happy to say that Gracie Schultz, Prospect High School, won an award for her 2D artwork. And that's my report. So now we go to item 10, roll call items of finance and business. Mr. Keeley, we got 10.1.1, approval of accounts payable and financial reports. Any discussion, board members? Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Dessling,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Palmer,
Aye.
Walker,
Yes.
and Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.1.2, approval of tax levy 2024. A motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, board members? Any additional comments, Mr.
I just
Keeley?
want to correct, there's a typo. It's 2023 tax levy. We do recommend it be approved as presented.
So 10.1.2 is approval of tax levy.
2023.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any discussion, board members? Call the roll.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Dessling,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Palmer,
Aye.
Walker,
Yes.
and Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.1.3, approval of supplemental tax levy.
2023.
Thank you. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Keeley, you want to talk about this a little bit?
Certainly, as discussed at the last meeting, this represents a levy that will allow us to pay the complete principal and interest on the Series 2020 bond refunding that was done. At the time, the market was in a much different place when these were refunded, which is essentially like refinancing a loan, if you will. And the assumption baked into it was a CPI of about 2%, which at the time made sense with the data that was out there. With hyperinflation over the last couple of years, it necessitates the board to take this action for the school district to capture that additional revenue to make the principal and interest payments. This is a one-time authorization, and it will allow us to continue to capture up to principal and interest payments that were approved at the time of the refunding.
Discussion, board members? Call the roll.
Heineman,
Aye.
Palmer,
Aye.
Dessling,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
and Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.2, approval of 2024 summer school. Dr. Lopez.
Yes. Thank you, President Kreitzer, members of the board, Dr. Rowe. So next year, all in-person summer school courses will be held at John Hersey High School in Arlington Heights, with the exception of the extended school year program for our students with disabilities, which will be held at the specialized schools. There is no recommended changes to current course fees in this summer school proposal. For semester 1 of summer school, it will run from June 10th to June 24th, and semester 2 will run from July 8th to July 25th. This is actually in response to parent feedback, so for the first time, this schedule aligns with our summer athletic camps, including a week break during that first week of July, and our hope is that this allows a designated time for families to plan for vacations for students who are both in athletic camps as well as summer school. We will also once again offer a number of opportunities for our students in a variety of formats, both on-site to online, in addition to internship opportunities. We have updated the registration process to make it easier for families to identify the appropriate courses for which to register their students. So course recommendations, when they go on the website, will be preloaded, prominently displayed, and easy to select, including courses for which students need to recover credit, as well as our by invitation only offerings. So families can sign up for summer school via mobile devices. This is actually fairly new in this last year, such as tablets and smartphones, and all students, regardless of payment method, can register for courses online, including driver's ed, so no standing in line. Registration for summer programs is centralized via one site, and it's going to begin in March. This past summer, we had over 3,500 enrollments, including 400 internship students and 226 in driver's education. And so to reduce delays and increase system response, we are staggering registration periods, and so these dates are included in the board materials, so not everybody registers at the exact same time. High School District 214 also provides a number of week-long enrichment experiences for students of all grade levels. These activities vary each year, and more information will be available as soon as the courses are proposed. We've had courses such as forensic science, veterinary medicine, and photojournalism in the past. And so each year, teachers sometimes offer the same courses or they propose new ones. These are considered enrichment experiences. So following the Board of Education approval of the summer school program, the summer school program's guidebook will be available on our website. This will have all the information families need. I certainly want to recognize the summer school leadership team, including representatives from the technology team, for both leading and managing the many details the summer school program entails. We had close to over 3,500 students this past summer. I mean, it is running another sort of school year in an abbreviated format over 6 weeks. There aren't any other changes of the summer school program to report, and so I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Go ahead, Ms. Palmer.
I have one quick question at this moment. 3,500 students at John Hersey High School.
No, so let me clarify. So this is what we had this last summer, and it's not all at once. So these are 3,500 enrollments, so good question. So for example, last year we had about 1,000 of the students were fully online.
Okay.
So at least a third. Semester one, including those online students, we had somewhere around 1,900 students. Semester two, we have about 1,300 students.
Okay. So it does stagger and we can fit them in and.
Yes. So it's not all at the same time, my apologies,
Okay.
yes. So it's usually, usually at least a third to a half have been online each semester.
Okay, thank you.
No, you're welcome.
I have two questions.
Go ahead.
First question, I saw the times out there for driver's ed. Do you know what a normal time frame would be? My kids have never done summer classes before, and I have one left. So she is considering it, so what's the normal, is like 10 to 3, is it, 7 to noon?
You know what, it is a very specific schedule. On your document, it's a 24-day semester.
Right.
The times are 7:30 to 10 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And then in the afternoon and evening, 3:30 to 6 and 6 to 8:30 p.m.
Okay.
So there's these windows.
Got it.
Yes.
And then the guide for the classes, is that going to be available soon, or is it available now, or?
After the board approves it,
Okay.
then it goes to press, it gets published, and it'll be available online.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Dustling.
The driver's education, looking at the sheets here.
Yes.
You said how many signed up? How many had signed up in the past?
We had 226 this past summer. We reached capacity. We try to add as much as we can. Our challenges are, we have 8 vehicles, only 2 students at a time in a vehicle. And that really limits capacity to how many spots during the summer, obviously.
So what it says here, we got 40 total per section.
Yes.
That's 120?
Yes.
So we can accommodate 120 driver's ed students?
So it's 10 seats in each section, so it's 40 for each sort of time range.
Yeah.
And so what happens is we do have a cap. We try to split that up evenly among all the schools, so everybody has an equal access to a certain number of spots.
How many do we have generally on an annual basis that?
We fill, I need to check to see how many students are left on the wait list. There are students that sign up that end up going private,
Yeah,
and then
that
students
frees up
open
on-
up. But I need to take a look and see how many were on the wait list.
Yeah, I'd like to know that.
Sure.
Thank you.
I have a follow-up.
Sure.
Driver's education is still a state requirement for graduation?
No. So
Okay.
what's required is driver's ed classroom.
Okay, so behind the book, not
So
behind the wheel.
behind the wheel is not required for graduation.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me clarify this. I'm sorry. Scott's looking at me. So we're required, Scott, clarify it. So we're required to offer driver's ed classroom. The board offers the full program as a service to our community, right?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so point 8, blended learning online virtual summer school program. It says individual students' needs are not able to be met in a traditional in-person summer school. Who would sign up for that?
I'm sorry, President Kreitzer, I didn't hear you.
Under B.
Okay.
And it's point 7.
Okay. So what that is that's, we do have some online classes where the teachers will meet with students in person, perhaps at the beginning, or at least a couple of times, so we'll identify those as blended. Sometimes it's a personal finance course, sometimes we've had an honors geometry or a bridge to honors geometry that the teacher has done the course fully online, but the first class meets in person. So there's, so that's to represent those courses where there may be a mix of engagement.
Okay, so bus service. Okay, so just one bus, 7:30 in the morning at each high school. Well, not Hersey, but, well, you could. There be a bus at Hersey? Anyway, so really, the driver's ed students would have to find their own way.
Well, a lot of times what happens is the students will take a bus to Hersey in the morning, and they may wait if they've got a 10 a.m. slot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Any other questions, board members? And we have for years, I think it's at the bottom of this proposal, have recommended that the Board of Education fund this for a budget of $305,000 to cover summer school costs. So, did I do a motion? I can't remember. No?
Yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion, please, to approve the 2024 summer school?
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Dessling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreitzer.
Aye, thank you.
Carrie 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lopez. So 10.3.1, approval of Energy Solutions, I'm having trouble here, contract. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second, synchronous, thank you. And a second.
We got a motion. and a second.
Thank you. Mr. Yulee.
Yes, Mr. Keeley actually has run point on the next two agenda items, so I'm going to hand it off to Mr. Keeley.
Fantastic, thank you. So as Dr. Rowe mentioned in his report earlier, we are looking at any and all efficiencies that we might create here in our district. So Mr. Yulee and the operations team are looking at preventive maintenance strategies as we do capital improvements. Obviously, our systems become more efficient, and we've talked about ways to track that and celebrate that here at the board level so the community is aware of our actions. A strategy that we're looking at is the potential for capturing some solar energy offsets to our current grid usage. That would be rooftop based arrays, and this would be done in a very mindful manner to ensure that we're not putting items on roofs that either can't support them or that need to be replaced soon. And this is something, Mr. Yulee and I did not go to solar school, surprisingly. So we had a discussion about how do we engage an expert in this field, and how can we do it without, making too big of an investment. So we did reach out to a couple energy partners that work a lot in the IASBO space with CSBOs, and what came back was, yeah, that's great, we can do solar for you, but we're going to take points off the top. And some of them were hundreds of thousands of dollars that they'd be taking over time, which would eat into the savings. So we reached out to a district out in, is that Kane County? Is Huntley in Kane County?
Kane and McHenry.
Kane and McHenry County. I know the CFO there very well, and we know the former superintendent really well as well. And as Dr. Rowe had mentioned, Dave Burr is a person in this space that I believe he's in Lake of the Hills, somewhere around there, but he's a local, and he does it kind of a one-man shop. And so we approached him and talked about how do we educate ourselves and our community in this before going, headfirst into an RFP and making commitments to something we frankly don't know a ton about. And we were pleased to see when Dr. Rowe talks about, the cost of the consulting contract, I believe his cost for doing the RFP, reviewing the RFPs, and then monitoring year over year those savings to ensure that what they bought is what they're getting is somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000 to $35,000 over 5 years. So significantly less than what we saw. So Mr. Yulee and I had a conversation with the gentleman, and the first step is engaging with this person to help do the RFP, and then we would be bringing a recommendation back to the board sometime in the spring with that. So I'd be happy to answer questions along with Mr. Yulee as needed.
Board members?
I like the idea of making sure the roofs can hold a thing. That's great.
Critical first step, sir.
Critical first step.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ms. Palmer.
And I don't know how to phrase this. I have heard that when you install solar, you may run into problems with, in the case of a fire, on whether or not there'll be service by local fire departments. Is that something that is going to be handled by the consultant? They're going to talk to us about that, whether or not it's going to impact that?
I wouldn't think that the consultant would tackle that. If we get to that point, there are a number of approval steps that each municipality will take, and that would be covered when we engage with each individual municipality. This is merely a what should we consider, what options are there, and have an expert walk with us to be sure that we're maximizing the return on our investment.
Okay, thank you.
But we wouldn't engage in something that our fire service wouldn't cover or protect our schools. That would be an immediate, we'll close that door and move on to the next
Okay.
option.
And all of our engineers and architects would be heavily involved in this process as well.
Okay.
It's a
I'm
pretty
little
long
fire skittish
journey.
these
We're
days.
not close to bringing that to you saying we're ready to do this. This is step one in several years before we're to that point. At least a few years before.
And this is something that will dovetail into that whole capital improvements plan as it's not already included in that plan. It's a separate, and that's why we're having a separate consultant for it.
Correct.
Okay.
Question. Yeah, I believe before, Dr. Rowe, you'd mentioned a cost of $10,000?
I did, but I misspoke. It was around 30 or 35 over 5 years.
Did I see that here in the paperwork?
No, in the contract that's in there, I believe his hourly rate is what is listed.
It's a T&M rate, yes.
Yeah. Pardon? His hourly rate, T&M.
$165 an hour.
Time and material rate is listed in the contract. There's not a total cost. I misspoke.
Should that be something in here? Or is
It's linked on the,
maybe I'm missing it.
on the agenda.
I believe it's page 1 of the contract.
It's in the contract.
It is, and the contract is posted on the agenda.
Is that the one that says vendor signed?
It is.
Agreement for consulting services.
Second bullet.
Guess I'm not seeing it.
Where is it, Dr. Rowe? You said this.
Page one.
Page one?
Page one of
Of
the
the
contract.
Of the contract.
Toward the bottom of the page.
Page 1.
Do you see it, Frank?
I don't.
You have to download the attachments. and
Right,
it's
right.
there.
You have to open the attachment.
Show me where the hell it is.
So if you just stay on the board book,
Looking
it's
at it.
only the approval. You have to dig into the.
Okay. I know what he's talking about.
Oh, but I don't go to board book.
Okay.
Go through what-
I've got it, thank you.
No, I'm good. Thank you, Chris. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yep.
Great. Sorry, I lost my voice there. Having trouble this evening. We had a motion and a second?
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
I just think speaking from experience in the district that I served on, we have one school, Prairie Trails, which like Dr. Rowe's former district, was also awarded a green ribbon. And the building is beautiful, it's maintained spectacularly, and the fact that we have energy savings that certainly, they basically represent the cost that we paid for. If not, we've gotten more back and sold some of the energy costs back. So I think it's a great idea, and it's something worthwhile looking into.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Palmer,
Aye.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Dustling,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Walker,
Yes.
and Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
10.3.2, approval of the school maintenance grant. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Are you still up, Mr. Keeley?
Certainly. So the school maintenance project grant comes up almost every year. Once in a while, the state does not fund it, but it's a 50-50 matching grant, up to $50,000, prioritized certainly by life safety projects. But over the past couple of years, my experience has been that all applications have been approved. It's been fully funded. So the school district, Dr. Zip, went ahead and submitted the application on our behalf for the Elk Grove Summer 2024 project. So essentially what would happen is once it's submitted and approved, we'd be reimbursed the $50,000, which is a portion of the overall project cost.
Discussion, board members? Call the roll.
Palmer,
Aye.
Heineman,
Aye.
Dustling,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Walker,
Yes.
and Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Approval of international travel. Do we have to take these individually, Dr. Rowe? Or can we do in one motion?
I'm sure you can just do them in one motion, all.
You're,
Individually? Let's do it
okay,
individually
we'll do it
then, just be
individually.
safe.
So we have a trip to France, France and Italy, Japan, Spain, Italy, and France. Mr. Yulee, anything you want to add?
Yes, two of those trips, Hershey to France and Hershey to Italy and France, are actually tours, and then the other four, Elk Grove to Japan and then Prospect to Spain, Prospect to Italy, and Prospect to France, are exchange programs.
Okay. Can I have a discussion? Sorry.
Sounds like fun.
Can I have a motion for 10.3.3.1 Hershey trip to France?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Please call the roll.
Dustling,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Palmer,
Aye.
Walker,
Yes.
and Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
10.3.3.2 Hershey trip to France and Italy. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Please call the roll.
Dustling,
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Heineman,
Aye.
Palmer,
Aye.
Walker,
Yes.
and Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
10.3.3.3 Elk Grove trip to Japan. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Dessling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.3.3.4, prospect trip to Spain. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Please call the roll.
Dessling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
10.3.3.5, prospect trip to Italy. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Please call the roll.
Dessling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
10.3.3.6, prospect travel to France. Motion and...
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Call the roll.
I would
Oh,
like
go ahead.
to
Go ahead.
mention something. On these 4 that Chris just said were different than the first 2, is there any chance we could get just, something in the Friday notes or somewhere where we can see how these experiences went? Is that possible?
Sure, absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Just to take note and learn a little bit about it when they,
It's a little bit
when they
different
return.
than, yeah, it's a little different from the tour. It's actually an exchange program. And
Well, if you remember, and actually Alva mentioned it in her report of the Barcelona exchange, and there was a French exchange breakfast at Prospect as well, where we had the opportunity to interact with some of those French students that were visiting. So I suspect it'll be very similar, but I'll connect with Mr. Mentor and get a write-up about their experience and share that with you.
Same with Mr. Kelly.
Right. They give a...
Definitely.
There's an agenda that what the students do here, and I believe when they go over there, there's also an agenda of what they go to visit and blah, 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 right? Yes, Greg's shaking his head, yes. Okay. Call the roll.
Dessling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
10.3.4, approval of prospect roof replacement. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Yulee.
Thank you. As a reminder, this is the section of the roof that required emergency repair last year. So now this is the bid for the actual replacement for this summer. The mechanical package, which included 2 rooftop units, was already board approved a couple of meetings ago with the train package. So this is just the actual replacement of the roof for this summer.
Discussion, board members?
And this is the math and science area? Was that it?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else? Call the roll.
Heineman.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Dessling.
Yes.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.3.5, approval of Elk Grove Student Services Area Base asbestos abatement. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Yulee.
Thank you. This is the abatement required in the student services area, pipe insulation, floors, mastic glue, et cetera. Mr. Kelly and his team has been very gracious in giving us spring break, so they're going to move their entire team out of that area ahead of spring break, which allows us to get a head start and perform the abatement over spring break and get a jump start on the project as a whole.
Okay.
It's terrific.
Board discussion?
Really glad that we're able to get that jump start. That's really going to help.
Tremendously. Yes.
Call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Dessling.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreitzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.3.6, approval of Elk Grove Student Services renovation. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Yulee.
This is the bid package for the full-scale renovation of the student services area, which includes offices, conference room, a new college and career center, and a new and improved, much larger nurse's office. So these are all the bid packages for that renovation, which hopefully will start immediately after the abatement.
Okay, yes, I had emailed you
Yes.
about the O'Hare Noise Compatibility Commission and their soundproofing of Elk Grove High School. What year did that take place?
I don't know the year off the top of my head.
Were you principal then?
No, I know the year.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Last year.
2010. So that's, oh, you were there, okay. I knew it was before Paul. And so that was 13 years ago. So if I recall, they paid for a lot: windows, ceiling tile, roof. There were HVAC systems. There's quite a, I know they had to clear the whole school. They
Yeah.
had truckloads, truckloads out in the parking lot where they emptied the whole school. So my question to you was, and you did answer it, but it's like, I thought all the windows at Elk Grove High School were replaced.
So I have clarification. So the curtain wall that we're referencing is out to the courtyard, the whole student services to the nurses area. They swapped out the glass from single pane to double pane. What we're doing is swapping out that entire curtain wall and going floor to ceiling windows and glass for this project.
So you're, okay,
So we're actually replacing the entire curtain wall.
okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, I know those windows aren't really, really old.
No, you were correct, yes.
Did we reach out to O'Hare? Do they want to pony up again?
I was actually at a meeting this morning at the Noise Commission, and they just reinstated the school insulation program. There's 11 new schools that have been identified, but, Elk Grove may or may not still be in the sound contour, and there's talk of revisiting existing schools. So
Love
if
that.
there's money to be had, we'll find it.
Thank you.
When they created the Noise Commission, the high school wasn't originally on the list. It was like the second round or something, as I recall, back in the early 2000s. And I think it was the only high school in the district that got soundproofing. In Forest View?
Here.
Oh, okay, all right. All right, just want to make sure we can get dollars, and Tim's going to keep us informed about the commission if we get some more money. Okay, any other discussion? Call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Dessling.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
10.3.7, turf field purchase for Buffalo Grove Phase 1. Motion in a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second, and I love that you put co-op purchase here. I appreciate that. Mr. Yulee.
This is a contract with Field Turf, who has recently performed the replacement turf here at Forest View and also at Wheeling last summer. So this is the industry standard company, Field Turf. So we're doing the same. This is for the carpet and the fill only. The base and the drainage is part of the bid package, which we'll talk about next agenda item here.
Board members, discussion? Call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Dessling.
Yes.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.3.8, Buffalo Grove Field, relocation renovation. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Yulee.
This is the entire bid package for Phase 1 of the Buffalo Grove Fields project. So as a reminder, Phase 1 includes a softball field, tennis courts, and the auxiliary turf field, along with concession stand / outdoor bathrooms. So this is essentially the work for the earthwork and the utilities and all of the other subs involved in the project.
I know Ms. Palmer and I asked you a question about, we know that all Buffalo Grove High School is in a TIF.
Yes.
So you want to explain about that?
Yes, so I had a meeting this morning with our civil engineer, and they're pulling together 3 potential options to present to the village. When we talk about our phases, Phase 1 has really no bearing on the potential TIF dollars. It's really about Phase 2 and Phase 3. As a reminder, the village is encouraging us to move our entryway on Dundee over to the east to align with Old Arlington Heights Road, to create a nice, clean intersection and a safer intersection. So our civil engineer and our architect I have not seen them yet, we have not seen them yet, are pulling together 3 potential options that would allow us to do that and create a nice, clean entryway and driveway at that intersection. And so at that point in time, then we would take those options over to the village and have our further conversations.
I have to add, we haven't seen them. It's conceptual. Conceptually, we agree with the concept and think it could be, we obviously want a safer entrance, and we know the Buffalo Grove entryways are challenging for our students and the drivers, and we want to improve that. We don't yet know what impact that might have on existing facilities and what may have to move or be completely, shift of like an entire football stadium, for instance. So it could be really, really a big deal, and we haven't seen that yet. So I would urge a little bit of caution in terms of being maybe overly excited about that we're there, because we're not there yet. We're interested in talking about it and hope that we can arrive at a safer option for our students and families entering Buffalo Grove.
So the plans that we had for the renovations may need to change in order to accommodate moving the entrance, but by moving the entrance, we might get a more safe way to enter, as well as some of those TIF dollars to help with our costs and renovations.
Correct.
So we'll get money and increase safety?
That's why it's attractive to look at.
Yeah.
I like both of those things.
But as Dr. Rowe alluded to, it's looking like it will have a fairly significant impact on the campus. And we can't afford to wait until we're at phase 3 of the stadium renovation, because if we have to slide, that'll impact phase 2, which we're coming to the board with pre-design hopefully in February. So it's prudent on us to get this conversation going.
Let's get it moving, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I know we have to move forward with this, and, they designated this TIF this year or last year, and, they have 23 years to do everything, but that's what just my concern is. And I know we'll all stay on top of that.
Absolutely.
To make sure that happens. Any other discussion, board members?
No.
Call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Dessling.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.3.9, approval of carpet purchase for Forest View Building B. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Yulee, any update?
This is a cooperative contract again. It's much more than just the material of carpet. It's 28,000 square feet. We have both floors of B building and the tech offices in C building, along with the walkway on the second floor from B building to C building. That will also be addressed, and this includes all the prep and the install. Remember, we had to abate here in B building, so they'll also have to prep those areas that have been impacted by the abatement.
Thanks for taking the time to answer
sir.
my questions.
Yes, sir.
And B building is the building that is now enclosed again with some windows, correct? As you pull up,
Yes.
that's that area.
Yes, correct.
I was glad to see it was enclosed.
Construction workers were too.
Any other discussion, board members? Call the roll.
Walker.
Yes.
Dessling.
Yes.
Palmer.
Aye.
Heineman.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Yes.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
So we have 10.4, we have approval to dispose of closed minutes, and then we have a Freedom of Information Act. We can take these as one, correct? No?
They're different.
Okay. Trying to move us along. So 10.4.1, motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. This is, comes to us every few months. Nothing really new on this. Any discussion, board members?
No.
Call the roll.
Dessling.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. 10.4.2, Freedom of Information Act report. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Dessling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
So now I need a motion to go into closed session for the employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in an educational setting, or legal counsel for the public body, 5 ILCS 122 CI, student disciplinary cases, 5 ILCS 122 C9, and litigation, 5 ILCS 122 C12. A motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. We will have, there will be action items afterwards, and how long do you think this will take? 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes? Thank you. Call the roll.
Dessling.
Yes.
Fiorito.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Palmer.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreutzer.
Aye. But before we go, I think Mr. Dustling has something for us.
I do. If somebody'd like some cranberry sherbet, I brought some tonight.
I always.
And I don't send Christmas cards, holiday cards, Hanukkah cards, and if you're not here for the cranberry sherbet, sorry.
Miss out.
But I wish you the best, so I'll get it out.
It's very dry.
About as ready as I'm gonna get.
I'll say what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you just. Okay, we're ready. Phew. Oh, thank you. We're back into open session. And we have two items for approval. 12.1.1, approval of personnel transaction report. A motion, please.
I move to approve personnel transaction reports for December 14th, 2023.
Second, please.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll.
Heineman,
Aye.
Walker,
Yes.
Dessling.
Yes.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Palmer.
Aye.
Kreutzer.
That's you. Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
12.1.2, approval of modification of job descriptions.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Discussion? Call the roll.
Fiorito,
Yes.
Palmer.
Aye.
Dessling.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
And Kreutzer. Motion carries
Aye, thank you.
6-0.
Before you adjourn, I'd like to offer a heartfelt congratulations to Miss Annetta Metzak on being recognized. Director of Operations and Maintenance. Annetta has been a great asset to the district. I know I've enjoyed getting to know her and work with her here. She's widely respected throughout the district, does an excellent job, and is a very hard worker. Looking forward to her leadership and guidance through a lot of work in the coming years. Congratulations, Annetta.
Thank you, Annetta.
Thank you, Annetta. And before we go, on behalf of the Board of Education, I wish everyone that celebrates the holiday, happy holidays, and a great winter break, and we'll see you in January. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second.
Call the roll.
Palmer.
Aye.
Fiorito.
Aye.
Dessling.
Yes.
Heineman.
Aye.
Walker.
Yes.
Kreutzer.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.